Hey everybody, future President Chuck Doris here. This is my first video on YouTube, and in this video we are going to be doing my power rankings and picks for week 1. Just to clarify, these are not predictions. That will be another video, but this is just as of today. Remember that, not predictions. The picks obviously are, but not the power rankings. Let's get right into it. 1 second. Alright. Coming in at number 32. Not much of a surprise. It's the Saints. They're just not very good. They're just bad. They probably have the worst quarterback in the league. I mean, if you have to start Rattler, then that really says something about your early second round pick. Not going to spend much time on them. We know what they are. Awful. First round pick contention. Number 31. Tennessee Titans. They just got the first overall pick, which makes sense with this roster, especially the offensive skill positions. I don't know what Cam Ward is, which is partially why they're this low, because this is not projections, this is not guessing, this is just as of right now. They're the second worst team in the league. Not gonna try and spend too much time on each team. We're gonna get through this quickly, hopefully. Number 30. Cleveland Browns. They got a little more talent around them, but it's drama. I don't trust it. I don't like what's going on there. So yeah, Cleveland Browns, number 30. Number 29. The Jets. Jets, Jets. SUCK, suck. Their defense has some good players. Their offense has some potential good players. Justin Fields, not a good quarterback. I still think he could put something together. We haven't seen a full season of him outside of Chicago, and Chicago's kind of just Chicago, so we don't know for sure what he is, but I have a pretty good idea of what he is. My phone closed again, which has all my stuff on it. Alright, 28. Carolina Panthers. I don't see the talent on this team. The offense got better, but also worse because they traded Thielen, which actually could probably put them down a spot. But the running back room looks good. I'm really excited about Tedero, McMillan. So, yeah, but the defense is downright awful. But their O-line is actually pretty decent. Speaking of a team with a high upside offense with a terrible defense coming in at number 27. Where are they at? The Raiders. Still, I'm not a big Geno guy, me personally. I'm really high on Genti. I think he'll be great. But I don't know how much he's going to get. How much the ball he's going to get, because they're going to be behind a lot, and they're going to need to throw a lot. And Bowers is good. Jacoby Myers is underrated, but he doesn't even want to be there. And outside of that, they got nothing. So, I don't see how they win a lot of games. But once again, this is not a projection. This is not predictions. This is just right now. Raiders are 27. 26. The current laughingstock of the league, the Dallas Cowboys. They kind of remind me of what the Bengals were last year, just worse. I don't trust Dak at all. Pickens is going to be good to help out there. He's going to be really good. But the defense is underwhelming. And I think the morale is really low. They don't really know what they're doing in that front office. Sorry about the mess in the background, by the way, guys. I know it's not pretty. I'll get it cleaned up. 25. The Dolphins. Just uninspiring, kind of the same as Dallas, honestly. Except I think Dallas has a better secondary and a worse, up front area. Whereas Miami's vice versa. But still, nothing. I think Tyreek is not very good anymore. Waddle has declined, even though he's young. And Tua, I mean, this isn't a projection, but he's not going to stay healthy. We all know that at this point. So yeah, Dolphins 25. 24. Got the Giants. I really like what they're building in there. Especially the D-line. It's unbelievable. The secondary super underrated. The receiving core has a ton of potential. I like the running back room. I like Tracy. I think he's super underrated. The only big question mark is quarterback. And they're starting Russell Wilson. This is power rankings for week 1, obviously. They're starting Russell Wilson week 1. We know what he is. He is decent. He's not going to be awful. He has awful games, but I don't think he'll be awful. But he's not going to be very good either. We know what he is at this point in his career. So, yeah. Giants are up at 24 to start off the year. Coming in at 23. The Colts. It was a very physical roster. Daniel Jones, week 1, I don't know how much I love that. I think it was the right decision. Between the two options they had, but I still don't. Yeah. Colts, they show up early in the season a lot. They'll put on some surprising games. We'll see in the picks later what I think of them. But obviously Jonathan Taylor's great. O-line should still be good enough. Really deep receiving core. Defense is not bad. Yeah, they're kind of just mid. Coming in at 22. Chicago Bears. They are a good roster. Roster as a whole, they're pretty good. Quarterback, they aren't. I will debate anyone for hours. Caleb Williams was not good last year. And this is not predicting. This is as of right now. Caleb Williams has not proven anything to me. He is bad. He has been a bad quarterback. The rest of the team is what is holding them up here. If not, they would be in this 4th tier. So, this should be Caleb's last chance. I know it's only year 2, but this is it. 21. Where are they at? Oh, they are. Jacksonville Jaguars. We know what Trevor Lawrence kind of is right now, at least. We don't know if he'll be with Liam Cohen, but as of right now, he's just middle of the pack. Not awful, but nothing special. Brian Thomas Jr. is obviously great. I'm excited to see what Travis Hunter brings, how he plays. And I think the defense is underrated. Trayvon Walker is going to be a great player this year. Josh Hines-Allen is obviously already a great player. He had a bit of a down year, but he'll bounce back, I think. But like I said, I'm going to keep stating this. This is not predictions. This is right now. So right now, the Jags are at 21. That's cool. Can you do that? Ooh, that's cool. Okay. Sorry. 19. Atlanta Falcons. Their offense has, other than quarterback, obviously has shown me they're good enough to get the job done with Drake London and Bijan. Sorry, not Bijan. That's not his name. It's Bijan. Get it right, guys. And Pitts, people say he's bad. He's not. He's underwhelming compared to where he was drafted and what everyone thought he was going to be. But he's not bad. The big question mark is obviously Michael Penix. What he's going to look like. He looked good in the 3 games he played last year, but yeah, he's the big question mark. Defense is really looking upgraded. The secondary's been good. I've been saying that, and I'm going to go more in depth in each team in the predictions video, the next one. But yeah, as of now, the highest I can put the Falcons is 20. Number 19, got the Arizona Cardinals. Their defense is looking a lot better. Their offense is the big question mark. Kyler's not a bad quarterback. I think he's above average. I don't really know what to say about the Cardinals. This is kind of just a mid team, you know. They're in this tier, this area that I would call mid. Throw the Colts in there. Yeah, their defense is looking good. I really like their coach. McBride obviously is great. Connor's been really good. I expect Marvin Harrison to at least do a little better this year. And their O-line is really improving. So at 19 for now. Obviously, all this is for now. This is week 1 power rankings. For week 2, I plan on making my own, what's it called? Graphic for it. That I will use throughout the year that'll show like their rankings. But for now, I'm on a bit of a time crunch, so we're using NFL Perry. They're great. Go check out NFLPerry.com. I'm not sponsored, but they're great. If they want to sponsor me on my first video, you know who it is, Chuck Doris. All right. Moving on to number 18. The Seattle Seahawks. They remind me a lot of the Cardinals, actually. In fact, they feel like very similar teams. But the Cardinals have a better offensive line, but Seattle's a little more proven. They've proven that their defense is better. But really and truly, they're really close. I just give Seattle the slight edge for now. Number 17. The last one before the top half. It's Patriots. Their team is very unproven and they're unproven. But I love the talent they have. I love the culture they've built there with Mike Vrabel. They're going to be a gritty, tough team. And gritty and tough just kind of makes me think, middle of the pack. So I'm throwing them dead middle for now. Slight spoiler, I expect them to rise up these rankings. But for now, the highest I could put them is 17 because Drake May looked great, but I still don't know 100% what he is. Same with the O-line and just the receivers and running backs in general. The defense is really what's holding them up because I know what the defense is. I know the defense will be good. Coming in at number 16. Feels a little low, but all these teams are good. Like, there's a gap between 16 and 17. Stay hydrated, guys. Number 16, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is. I think he's good. I think he's still got some in him, but I don't know. And a lot of their team is brand new. Like, a lot of movement from that team. So I don't know the chemistry for sure. I can't put them high enough. I can't put them any higher than this. I don't know what the running back room is going to look like. I know Warren is a good 2. I don't know how well he will do as a 1. Calvin Austin is the wide receiver 2, I think. That's a little scary. I like Calvin Austin. He's a great 3. I don't know if he's a 2. Offense has a lot of question marks. Defense has had a lot of change, but it's still the Steelers. It's still the Steelers' defense. And the Steelers are just a team that's always above average, which is where I'm putting them. Right directly above average. If there was a 9 and 8 spot for this power rankings, it is number 16. And that's where the Steelers are going. Obviously, like I said, this isn't predictions, but that's where they are right now. Number 15, the Chargers. This might seem a little low, but I still don't know necessarily what their offense is, how great it will be, especially since the running back room completely changed. And their defense scares me because I think it's incredibly overrated. Harbaugh is a great coach. He reminds me of the Patriots. They're going to be a tough, gritty, physical team. And like I said, that just feels like middle of the pack. Right now, this is where I'm going to put them, just because I also still have a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth from Justin Herbert's playoff game. So Chargers are at 15. Losing Rashawn Slater hurts a lot. 14. The Commanders. They don't have a defense. Their offense is great as of now. They have no problem getting the ball down the field, but the defense is awful. It's a bunch of old guys. Which doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, they got experience, but just as a whole, the defense is not good. Right now, the defense is not good. It could improve over the year. It could decline even. I don't think it can decline more. It's awful. So yeah. And then at 13, we have another team. I'm sure you can guess. In the exact same situation, except I trust their offense more. And that is the Cincinnati Bengals. Same thing as what I said about the Commanders. I think the Bengals defense could be a little better. They have Trey Hendrickson, and Shamar Stewart is big boomer bust. I've heard good things. But as of right now, we're ranking the Bengals offense on a power rankings of teams. And they are still 13th. Because Burrow, Chase, Higgins, Brown are all that good. They're all just that good. But outside of that, I don't know what's going on. They're noisy. I hope things kind of calm down there. Number 12. The 49ers. They were hurt last year. They were hurt immensely. They lost pieces as well. But they also gained in the draft. I like their draft picks. They got Saleh back. He's going to keep that defense going. He's going to get that defense going like crazy. All right, these are the 49ers we're talking about. They had an off year, yes. Everyone does sometimes, unless you're the Chiefs. But yeah. I expect a bit of a bounce back from the Niners. And just as a roster, in power rankings right now, you can't not have the Niners this high. I just don't understand why you could or would. Number 11, the Vikings. If I knew what their quarterback was, they would be higher, much higher. But I don't know what their quarterback is. I don't know what JJ is. I saw good from him in the preseason last year. Preseason this year, I saw mid at best. I don't know what he's going to be. He's got a great team around him. He should be good. He's got a quarterback whisperer in Kevin O'Connell. Their defense is incredible. But their receivers are hurt right now and suspended, so we're taking that into consideration in the power rankings. Their offense, even though their offense is still great, I don't know about Aaron Jones as of now, but Mason being in there makes up for that. And the defense, for the majority, is great. And their O-line is good. So, 11. Coming in at number 10, the Texans. This roster is unbelievable. The only thing they don't have is an O-line, which is going to hurt them, which is why they're this low in the power rankings. And because Stroud had a bit of a down year. But he's still C.J. Stroud. I know that's not saying anything crazy. It's not like Mahomes, who's won how many Super Bowls. But he shouldn't just fall off the face of the planet. And the defense is unbelievable. Defense should be top 3 this year. They have Nico Collins. I don't know about the wide receiver depth because it's rookies. The running back room is looking a little scary. Joe Mixon is hurt. Probably he could be out for the year. I kind of expect him to be. Maybe he comes back for the playoffs. Nick Chubb, who knows how long he'll be out there healthy. And if he is out there healthy, will he be any good? And the O-line being terrible doesn't help that. And I know I'm saying a lot of bad things, but that goes to show how great this Texans defense is. And Stroud and Collins connection. Number 9, the Broncos. I could go on all day about the Broncos. They had the best defense in the league last year, and it only got better. Their offense was underrated last year, led by Bo Nix. And he didn't have anything to work with, really. Maybe you can say Sutton, but he was inconsistent. Mims at the end of the year. But wide receivers are stepping up. We got Pat Bryant is there now. The running back room, similar to the Chargers, completely different. But I can confidently say the Broncos running back room upgraded. I don't know if I could say that about the Chargers because I think J.K. Dobbins is better than Najee Harris. And I don't know what the rookie will be. And I could say that for both. I don't know what the rookie will be for both teams. You can call me biased, but I think I have a bit more trust in Harvey than Hampton. At least for this year. But yeah, the Broncos are just a really balanced team all around. Similar to the Texans, should have a top 3 defense. What separates the Broncos from the Texans is that the Broncos have a top 3 O-line in the league as well. So that's why the Broncos get the edge over the Texans. We're getting into the greats here. Coming in at number 8, it's the Buccaneers. This team feels like the Broncos to me, honestly, with a worse defense, a worse coach, but as of now, a better quarterback, a clearly better receiver room, even with Chris Godwin hurt, and clearly a better running back room as well. So, depending on what you value the most, these two could be interchangeable, but for today I have the Buccaneers at 8. Number 7, the Packers. Just got Micah Parsons. They would have been up here anyway. Micah Parsons surely helps, but they just have one of the best, most balanced rosters in the league. I expect them to... They put up a fight with the Eagles. Let's not forget about that. They put up a fight with the Eagles in the playoffs. Aside from the Rams, they gave the Eagles the best run for their money. Even if the Eagles kind of came away at the end pretty decently. The Packers were in that game for a good bit. They are weird, I think, is a good way to put it. Because you don't know what Packers team you're going to get. Now, come Toyotathon, they will be in the top 3. I bet you one of those Toyotathon weeks, they'll be in the top 3 or 4. But it's not Toyotathon. And I don't know what Jordan Love's going to be. Matt LaFleur is obviously a great coach. He's going to get this team going and playing. He is one of the big reasons they are up here. If Matt LaFleur wasn't on this team and it was just this roster, they would probably be down more like 13 range. But yeah, Packers, who just got Micah Parsons, really solidified their place up here. So yeah, they're at number 7. But I still haven't seen enough to put them above 7. At number 6, the Lions. Their roster is great. There's some weak points, but as a whole, it's one of the best in the league. They lost their coordinators. That's going to hurt. Dan Campbell is still a great head coach. Not because he calls the plays or anything, but because he is the one that gets the guys going. They're another tough, gritty, physical team, but they can also air it out with Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra is going to get them going. Don't sleep on Amon-Ra. I haven't seen enough Amon-Ra talk. All right. Amon-Ra is great. Don't sleep on him. This defense is one of the most underrated in the league, I think, honestly. But it just goes to show that we have some pretty good teams in the top 5 for the Lions to not make it there. And similarly to, who am I looking for? The Chargers. That playoff game left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth for the Lions, which is keeping them out of the top 5. But at number 5, the Rams. Now, this might be the most underrated defense in the league. They are gonna be very good, this defense. I'm not even talking about the offense yet, because we all know what the offense is. The offense is going to be great. All right, last year, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were going insane. Cooper Kupp's getting older. He's not as good. Bring in Devontae Adams. That's an upgrade. All right, you got 2 top-end wide receiver 1s on your team. That's crazy. Kyren Williams, underrated as can be. He'll get touchdowns like crazy. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It is like 2 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, the Rams, Stafford, questions about his health. He'll be out there. He's one of the toughest quarterbacks I've ever seen. If you're worried about Stafford's health, go watch the clip where he, broke his arm at the end of a game and went out there for the last play and threw an absolute Hail Mary dime to win it. That's probably my favorite clip ever. And Stafford's one of my favorite QBs ever. In fact, I'm going to buy a Stafford jersey, I think. Because I love Stafford. But now I'm just kind of glazing. No, I'm not. Stafford's great. If you think Stafford's not top 5, come talk to me. Yeah, Rams, I didn't even mention McVay. And I'm not gonna, because I don't want to drag on. Chiefs at number 4. Super Bowl slump is real. Or Super Bowl hangover is real. I don't know the morale of the team. They seem like they're like, oh, we got beat, we need to go back and beat them. But a lot of teams that get beat in the Super Bowl are kind of just bummed. I don't know where the Chiefs fall this time around in that scenario. Mahomes has probably looked the worst he's ever looked the past couple years. So I don't know if I can trust him to be a top quarterback this year. Rashee Rice is suspended, only for 6 games. Probably should have been longer. Is Travis Kelce's mind in the game? He's getting married to the most famous person on the planet. The defense is going to keep him alive. The defense is great. I know I'm talking a lot about defenses, but defense is what wins games. Ask Joe Burrow. The Chiefs are Chiefs. It'd be disrespectful to put them any lower than where they are right now. But I still think 3 teams in the league are better. At number 3, the Bills. I think they should have beat the Chiefs in the conference championship last year. I think there were some questionable calls. I'm not going to dwell on the refs and any of that. I'll go all day. But yeah, I think the Bills, all you really need to know is Josh Allen. He carries that team on his back. The defense it's a good one. The offense is pretty good, but they're just kind of a good team. Josh Allen makes them one of the best. Josh Allen alone that's all you need to know. Josh Allen alone brings this team to number 3. Coming in at number 2, the Eagles. Super Bowl champions. They lost some pieces. They're still going to be incredible. They're still that team that just won the Super Bowl. But they're not the Ravens. This Ravens roster is possibly the best roster I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if I could say that. Just because they don't necessarily have the greatest receiving core. But it's still a really good one. I don't know where to start or stop with the Ravens. This team is the best in the league right now. And I haven't seen them take a snap. And talking about the Ravens being number 1 is going to lead into the picks. Because it has to do with something. Once I find it. Give me a second. Is it just this? No. Technical difficulties, guys. Here we go. Week 1, Thursday Night Football. The kickoff, the home opener. Philly's going to win this. And I'm not doing against the spread picks this week, but I will next week and every week after, hopefully. But I do think Dallas is going to cover. It's a 7.5 spread, which is a lot for season opener week 1 divisional match. I still think the Eagles come away with it, but don't be surprised if the Cowboys put up a fight, even with that awful roster and awful morale. Friday, Kansas City, Los Angeles, I was getting there, in Brazil. Who wants it? Who wants it more? It's a great question I've heard. I think the Chargers do. Do I think the Chargers are the better team? No, not at all. You just saw in the power rankings I didn't. But I think the Chargers are going to take this one in week 1 from the Chiefs in Brazil. But the Chiefs will get their get back. We'll get to that when we get there. But I think the Chargers take this one. The Chiefs are prepared. The Chiefs are more prepared. They know what they're doing. I think the Chargers are just going to go out there and just really fight for it. Week 1's Week 1's always wacky, so you can't pick every game based on just who you think the better team is. I'm still going to do it here and take the Buccaneers, but I think the Falcons are going to keep it really close or get obliterated. Same with the Bengals. They're not going to obliterate the Browns, though. The Browns will keep it close if the Bengals even win, because they never do good week 1. However, they never do good against Cleveland. The reason I am putting them here is because Joe Burrow played in preseason. He's gotten some sense of readiness along with the rest of the team. So hopefully they can pull this out in week 1. Colts, Dolphins. Colts are the more defensive, tough team. Jonathan Taylor might run all over them. I don't trust Daniel Jones to do anything crazy, and the Dolphins always do good in September, but I just don't think they take this one. I think the Patriots might blow the Raiders out of the water. Now, the The Raiders are going to be sneaky because it's a whole new coaching staff, new quarterback, new running back. They're going to try and be sneaky, but I just think the Patriots are going to shut them down. The Saints were kind of crazy last year, week 1 and 2. They put up 40 both games, once against the Panthers, once against the Cowboys, which in hindsight isn't anything too amazing. But I'm not picking the Cardinals as my survivor this week just because the Saints could do something like that again, even though it makes sense just to pick whoever's playing against the Saints as your survivor every week. But no, I think the Cardinals should take this one. Steelers, Jets. Steelers are just the better team. They're always good early on. And Aaron Rodgers is probably going to want to give the Jets hell for how they made him look. Giants, Commanders, like I said, week 1, always kind of wacky. I think it's the Giants. I think that defensive line gets to them. I think they can light up the scoreboard in offense if they're all playing well. And I just don't think the Commanders are going to see it coming. So I got the Giants week 1. I also have the Jaguars beating the Panthers. This one's kind of just a feeling. I just think the Jags are a better team. Not much to it. The Broncos are my survivor pick. However, I don't know if I would pick them against the spread just because they're favored by 8 or 7.5. And it is a rain game. So I expect a lot of running. I don't expect Bo to light up their secondary like he should be able to. If it's a rain game. The weather says it's looking like it might be. I don't know for sure. If it's not a rain game, then I would pick the Broncos on the spread, and they're my survivor pick. You can call me biased. There's no way they lose this game. And I might look like a fool next week for saying that, but there's no way. Besides, Cam Ward's first game in the NFL against last year's best defense, and could be again this year because they improved. And the altitude. Now we get to his head. The altitude is important, especially in week 1. This one is kind of a toss-up. I expect the Niners to be a better team the whole year. I'm taking them to take this one. They're the Niners, and I expect them to kind of show up. They'll be somewhat healthy. I'm sure they're going to lose a lot of people throughout the season because they're the Niners. They always get hurt, but most seasons they're able to overcome that. Last year they weren't. It was unbelievable how many injuries they got, but yeah. I got the Packers beating the Lions. The Lions have less than a week to game plan for Micah Parsons. That's going to be tough on them. I think the Packers are feeling good. I think they're feeling real good going into this season. I think the Lions might be a little nervous. Even with Dan Campbell as their head coach, they lost both coordinators. Campbell might be a little nervous even. I think they're just going to be a little shaky. The Packers are a tough physical team. They know what they want. They're coming for it. Similarly to the Chargers. I don't necessarily think the Packers are a better team as of now, but yeah, those games feel similar. The Rams' O-line is young. Their defense is young. The Texans' defense, I think, will get to Stafford. Hopefully they don't hurt him too bad. Especially because he is already dealing with injury. Even though, like I said, toughest quarterback I've ever seen. Besides for maybe Bo Nix. Yeah, I just think the Texans are going to take this one week 1, but the Rams will bounce back. This is where I was saying I want the Ravens ranking to lead into the picks. I think the Ravens lose to the Bills week 1. I'm not sure the Ravens lose a game after this. I don't know that they lose a game after this. Their team is insane. I think Buffalo is going to be more ready for this game. Their team is more similar to last year's team than Baltimore's was to their own last year, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know if Baltimore loses a game after this. They're going to come in here. They're going to lose again to Buffalo in Buffalo, and they are going to be furious, and they're going to go on a rampage of the league. Then Monday, Vikings-Bears, another divisional matchup. Could go either way. JJ's first game. But I think Thielen back. Jefferson should be good to go. Vikings defense is obviously great. I expect the Bears defense to kind of give JJ some troubles, but Jefferson and Thielen will help that. But the Bears offense, I don't trust them at all, especially not against that Vikings defense. So yeah, those are the picks and the power rankings for week 1. Come back next week for week 2. I'll hopefully have a graphic and everything going, and we'll be good to go. But hey, enjoy the week. Enjoy the opening week of the season. Have a good one, guys. Chuck Doris, 2040.